My understanding is immigration numbers have come down massively over the last year,
legal
and yet
migration,
when you look at the polling, the public doesn't know or doesn't believe it.
Actually, they do, because immigration has now, at least according to YouGov, immigration is no longer the primary concern of voters.
But there is a poll that I saw that showed 50% of Britons still think it's the same numbers it was a year ago. So
On
there's a big
immigration,
chunk
I
of
see what you
people
mean.
in terms of the numbers.
Yeah.
And so, for example, that becomes an issue then, because then you say, well, it's actually, the public just want action to be taken. Action is taken, and the public either don't recognise it or don't believe it. So then it becomes a messaging problem. Then it does become about communication. How much education is there of the public on this issue?
So
how much are politicians willing to call out the lies and disinformation and take a strong position?
This is so interesting, because I think the nub of this really is, if you are a mainstream politician, if you are the Prime Minister, the leader, do you say you're wrong? Do you tell the British people?
It's a great question.
Right? You're wrong.
We
are
say
getting
I'm a
this.
pundit.
Of
it's
course,
harder for a politician.
but,
I agree.
but you have to be Keir Starmer or whoever for a moment and say, I'm the leader, that's disinformation, listen to me. Or you have to say, if this is what people are telling us they're worried about, we have to respond.
Yeah, so I'm more in the first camp than the second, though I recognise the political pitfalls of that. You don't want to tell the voters they're wrong. Obviously, in those ways, that's just not the way you win elections. On the other hand, constantly conceding to your opponent's framing of an issue, constantly fighting battles on your opponent's terrain is not the way you go forward. If that was the way forward, then why are we still in this mess 20 years after Tony Blair was triangulating on this issue? These are not new issues. I mean, I'm old enough to remember New Labour was talking about all this stuff. Tony Blair was saying we're going to crack down on asylum seekers, vouchers for asylum seekers. David Blunkett talking about the swamping of schools. I'm that old to remember 25 years ago what was going on in this country. So it clearly didn't work. And I think if you look across the West, the centre-left's approach to this, which is trying to meet the right halfway, trying to do this, well, they have legitimate concerns. Let's not say the voters
shouldn't do it.
That hasn't worked. It's not that they shouldn't do it. It hasn't worked. I think you have to start from a starting point with if it's not working,
so go
why
on.
are we doubling down?
How strong would you say Keir Starmer should be on this then?
I think Keir Starmer should take the opportunity to go on the offensive and say, if you're worried about small boats now and immigration now, have a look at what Belfast looks like right now. That's what the entire UK will look like when Nigel Farage is Prime Minister. Is that the country you want to live in? Is the United States under Trump with ICE militias grabbing and shooting American citizens on the street? Is that the future you want? That's the dystopian future heading your way under these cynical people.